How to lease a car. Hello, and welcome to Videojug. If you can't afford to buy the car you want outright with cash or credit, a creative alternate is to lease a vehicle. We'll show you how this is done. You will need your credit score, money, funds to cover the first month's payment and all title and tax costs, a driver's license, and, most importantly, knowledge of the car's worth. By knowing the worth and projected depreciated value of the car, you will be able to haggle with the dealer. The ultimate goal in a lease contract is to bring the purchase price down and negotiate a lofty resale value, bringing those two numbers as close together as possible. Step 1. Know the difference. As is the case with all car transactions, the best first step is to do your research. Knowing the cost of the car you want and the rate of depreciation are critical factors when leasing a vehicle. A typical finance structure on a lease will have you paying the difference between the capitalized value of the new car and the depreciation residual value at the end of the lease, usually 2 to 4 years. If the cost of the new car is $20,000 and the projected value of the car in 4 years at the end of the term is $12,000, you'll be paying $8,000 divided by 24 to 48 months. Step 2. Find the deal. Many times, the entry point in a leased car is lowered to attract customer sales. Look for 0% down payments or factory rebates or incentives to bring down the cost of the vehicle. If a dealer tells you they cannot be applied, they're not being straight with you. Make sure that all rebates and incentives are applied to lease. Remember, the lower the capitalized cost of the vehicle, the smaller the gap between the new price and the resale price at the end of the term. And that means more savings for you. Therefore, zealously negotiate the price of the vehicle, just as if you were buying it. Step 3. Open and closed case. A closed-end lease is the normal contract for most consumers. This means there's a set price for the vehicle at the end of the term. The payments stay the same and both dealer and leasee know the score. However, an open-ended lease means that the residual value will be defined at the end of the term, for better or for worse. You'll also want to inquire about lease end service charges, which you may want to avoid by keeping the car in a fine state of tune. Step 4. Use it and lose it. Mileage limitations are built into the lease, so be careful how much you drive the car. If the lease allows for 15,000 miles and you end up taking several road trips adding up to 18,000 miles, you'll owe money on each additional mile, sometimes at a cost of 20 cents per mile. This can add up fast, so watch the odometer. Don't take a reduced mileage allotment to lower your monthly payments, or you might find yourself hoofing it at the end of each month. Step 5. Stick to the schedule. Be diligent and meet the recommended maintenance schedule. Keep the car clean and repair any minor dings and scratches. Since you do not own this vehicle and will have to return it one day, it's best to treat it like a rental or your father's car. Every cosmetic defect beyond normal wear and tear will come directly out of your pocket. Step 6. The return. Returning the leased vehicle is the most important step in the process and will potentially save you thousands of dollars if you know what to expect. Although you are certainly not thinking of it when you drive off the lot, it's important to remember that years from now, you'll have to return the vehicle to the dealership. This is not as simple as handing the dealer the keys and walking out the door. There are lease end service fees which you'll need to consider because the dealer certainly will be. According to the contract, you may be subjected to excess wear and tear penalties, disposition or cleanup fees. Try to keep the car in as close to new condition as possible. Early termination fees are also quite steep, so try to lease a car in the first place which will meet your needs until the end of the term. Do your research on the value of the vehicle you're returning. If it's in good shape and the residual value in the contract is less than the car's true value, you might think about buying the car rather than paying lease end fees. Then you can sell the car privately on the open market, a way to pocket the difference. Now that you've returned a perfectly maintained leased vehicle, you've paid the least amount of money for the greatest value automobile and honored your obligations in the lease. And unless you want to re-enter the market, you're done.